Hi guys, so really quickly, what are the updates with Trump and Elon for today? So I heard that, first of all, Trump, let's start with Trump. He is suing CNN for something like 475 million American dollars, you guys. I know it's not funny. There's nothing funny about this. I love this. Did I mention I love this? I love snow globes. But so Trump is, to be serious, let me be serious. So Trump has brought this suit against CNN. We know that he also sued ABC and George Stephanopoulos a month ago or something like that. And they settled the case where ABC agreed to pay $15 million to Trump's presidential library or something like that. Like they donated this money as a settlement with Trump, and it was so quick. It was such a rollover. It was such you know a genuflection, a curtsy. They literally ABC literally curtsied to Trump on this, to the point that all of the pundits, like the experts on this stuff, like Mysalis, Michael Popak, even Don Lemon, and many, many other people were up in arms about it. They were horrified, they were embarrassed, they were ashamed that ABC so easily folded and paid this massive settlement to Trump for defamation because Trump had sued saying that they used a term that was not the quite accurate term of what he was found civilly liable for in terms of a decades or 2 decades old um, claim by E. Jean Carroll that Trump had assaulted her. I believe the venue was some store on Fifth Ave, but it's so ridiculous and so like bizarre that I think I may not have the right information with that because I can't understand. And I think I did a video on that as well. I don't understand how that could have happened in that venue. You know what I mean? This assault. But so they settled the case because of a semantic issue where, they had used a terminology that, according to Trump, was completely inaccurate and was not at all what the court had ruled in the case. So there was that, which was shocking enough, right? But it was such an easy victory. It's like $15 million. You figure that Trump could take that money and pay off E. Jean Carroll, whatever it is he owes her, right? In the civil judgment. But then I wake up and I hear what, I don't know if it was today or yesterday or the day before, because all of my days have started to roll into one at this point. But I see this thing on my feed that Trump has sued CNN for even more money, for 475 million USD, okay, American currency. And I'm just like, I am gobsmacked as usual. I'm always gobsmacked with Trump, and I don't know why I'm gobsmacked with Trump because Trump always comes up with something. But I think what the experts are saying about this case is that he doesn't have a very strong case for defamation because he's a public figure and there are special rules. I mean, he would have to show actual malice was intended by whatever CNN said about him. I think he said that CNN called him a racist. They said he was a Russian lackey. And, basically, generally, they said a whole bunch of things which to him were defamatory. But because of his status as a public figure, the rules are different um, from him versus, say, me or you, if you're watching and you're not a public figure. I'm assuming that what public figures would be watching this YouTube channel, but one can never tell. One can never tell. But it's really interesting because Trump is. I mean, what's the word I could use for Trump? I mean, I don't even know, but I feel like this particular lawsuit for 475 million US dollars is absolutely, it's Trump-esque, but it's also just, it's so over the top, but it's so typically Trump. I mean, can he win it? I don't know. I don't have enough legal experience to say. I mean, I think it sounds like a stretch, it sounds like a stretch. And it sounds like a stretch, you guys, is all I can say. Um, but I think what the experts are also saying is that, Trump, I know. This is how I put on my makeup. I put my lipstick and then I use the excess on my eyelids. Is that gross? Too bad it's mine, okay? So listen. So the experts are saying that Trump is doing this just to give them a hard time, force them to spend some money. He doesn't really expect to win. And if he does win, they're saying that it will create new case law. I mean, it would be a new precedent, essentially, if the court were to rule in Trump's favor, if this went to a jury or something. My suspicion is he's hoping to get another big settlement. I mean, even if he gets 15 million out of them, he can use that money to pay some of these judgments, because he has all of these massive judgments, right? Including the one from Big Tish. Is no, that's probably inappropriate. Letitia James, is it? The the New York prosecutor, whatever her title is. Ms. James, do excuse me. I'm just like, I'm out of the loop. I'm a little bit out of the loop, but I know that you sued Mr. Trump. You won the case. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. As a lawyer, to win your case is a big deal. And then they started to coin her Big Tish, which to me was kind of, I mean, not that it's funny, but it's just like, it's stuck in my head, so I use this term, but it's derogatory and I shouldn't, because they could call me Big Marion too, which would not be funny. Don't ever call me Big Marion. Okay, you guys. Anyway, so that's it for Trump. I mean, he's suing for $475 million. I don't think this lawsuit is going anywhere, but because ABC settles so easily with Trump, I don't think we can rule anything out. They may decide to settle with him. CNN, that is, may decide to settle to get him to go away. Because he could just get the FCC on them or whatever. And, nobody, everybody's kind of terrified of him because they don't know, where he's going to go with all of this, so there's that. So, okay, so that's it for Trump. So Elon Musk. So Elon Musk has gotten himself into a soup, basically, with MAGA, with the MAGA, the right MAGAs, the base, Trump's base, by making some kind of comment about the H-1B visas and how, Americans are just not, I mean, this is paraphrasing, but they're just not qualified to work at his companies because, if he has to sort of train them to be engineers in SpaceX and Tesla and all this, I guess it's just too much energy, too much time, too many resources, when he can just bring in these Indian engineers on H-1B visas the way he came in and became the richest man in the world. And so Trump's base and this woman, Laura Loomer, before, don't tell anybody, but before this whole controversy, I'd never heard of her. I'd never heard of her, but apparently she's really, I must have heard of her but didn't pay attention, but apparently she's really big in the MAGA movement, and she is really turned around by, this whole thing, because she voted for Trump thinking that, he's a nativist, he's a populist, he believes in America first, and he's going to be, deporting everybody who is not a born American, and he's going to only make sure that certain types of Americans are hired for certain jobs. He's going to do all the DEI, all those brown people, those black people just out. So apparently that's her platform. I don't know. Allegedly. I allege, okay? I have no idea. Because I don't know who she is. Um, but so it turns out that Elon Musk believes in all of that, but only when it comes to certain types of people and certain types of immigrants, right? But when it comes to immigrants that can actually help him with his companies in engineering at SpaceX and Tesla and all the other companies that he has, the Boring Company, Neuralink, got it. I mean, so many. He prefers to have a certain type of a person, and that person happens to be, those types of people happen to be immigrants from India. He has no problem with those types of DEIs because essentially that's a form of DEI. H-1B visas are a form of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Think about it. Think about it, right? It's a form of DEI. So he has no issues with that because apparently this helps him, it helps his company, and so on and so forth. So he's just like cool with it. And the MAGA base is just like scandalized. Like, what are you doing? What do you think we voted for Trump for? We want all those people out of here. We don't bring them in here. And so he went on the offensive, Elon, and he basically told them to go bleep themselves. Literally, he says this. He said something to the effect of, "Go bleep yourselves in the face," which to me is something that like a 12-year-old would say. I mean, who says that? What does that even mean? It's not even physically possible, to do that. Anyway, so why are you saying this, Elon? You're a grown man. You are the the richest man in the world, one of the most influential people in our world at the moment. I mean, what are you talking about telling people on Twitter to do that? But then he turns around and apparently, and I didn't see the tweet myself, but I saw it on someone else's YouTube channel where he basically said, okay, everybody, let's start to bring some positivity to Twitter, like positive and beautiful content and so on and so forth. So people are saying that he knows he messed up and he's trying to, um, I guess, walk that back a little bit so that MAGA doesn't turn against him completely and, yada, yada. And interestingly, they were making fun of Trump because Trump was very silent at the beginning of this whole thing. But then Trump came out in support of Elon, saying that he supports H-1B visas, even though there's footage showing that before, like in his first term, Trump said that they were terrible for the country and that he doesn't like H-1B visas, apparently and allegedly. You guys. So, yeah, it's all this fireworks, and we don't know what. I mean, it's the first one. You know what I would say to Elon Musk is, among other things, I would say that he needs to talk less. He needs to talk less. I think for a man in his position, um, he would have more of a sort of um, cachet, or I don't know. He would be more effective, more powerful, even if he doesn't speak half as much as he speaks. If he tweets a lot less, and certainly don't say things like "go bleep yourselves in the face" because it's an insult, but it just comes off as like a teenager having a tantrum, and I don't think that's what he's going for. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. I want to admire Elon Musk. I used to admire him so much, and these types of antics are so beneath his dignity. They should be anyway, honestly. Number one. And number two, I think that, the tweet that he put out about putting more positive content on Twitter and so on, some people are saying that's really just transactional because he knows that advertisers are going to start leaving and he's going to be in trouble. So he's trying to, it's all about money. But I'm hoping that it's more than just money and that it's a sign that there's a thaw, because this man has become, I think, very, very, very toxic, and it's not a good look on him. He would be so much more, just so much more, so much more. I mean, because money is not enough. They say money can't buy class, and there's a lot of other things that money can't buy. It's not enough. It's a lot, and it's something. But I think he could be even more if he says less, right? Let us do the talking. We're the little people, right? You, your mystique, your cachet. Don't talk so much, Elon. Don't tweet this nonsense so much. And yes, encourage more positivity on Twitter and in your life, frankly, because clearly there's a dearth of positivity because of the things you say, and a lot of your ideologies are just like, what is going on here? This man needs to be thawed. This man needs to be retaught, right? And I think that the tweet that he put out there about positivity is a really good sign that things could change. And yeah, I think once things fall apart with him and Trump, which at this rate they will, unless he stops, right? If he wants to have a relationship with Trump, he's going to have to pull back a lot, stop interjecting himself into so many things that make Trump look like he's the vice president, because it's not a good look. It's not a good look. So he's going to have to adjust some stuff, if he wants this relationship with Trump to last. But at the same time, if he really wants his relationship with the public to be different and better, yeah, he's going to have to thaw a little bit, a lot, because a lot of his views, I mean, even I used to admire him, and now I'm just like, oh my God. I'm just like, oh my God. How could I have ever thought that this man was worth my admiration? And I would love to admire him again. So yeah, I hope that the tweet is a sign of a change that's going to come in Mr. Musk. Anyway, that's all for this one. I've got to go get my popcorn. I have no popcorn. My bottle is completely empty. And without that, I mean, I don't even know. And it's good for your blood pressure. If you have like a little elevated blood pressure, you take your popcorn without salt. It's actually supposed to be very good to help to, you know, stabilize that. So yeah, I have to go get one. Anyway, see you in the next one, you guys. Take care. Bye.